What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Good morning. You are watching AMS Live. My name is Boy and we are standing at the Polderbaan. It is Thursday, June 27th, 2024, and summer still in the Netherlands. It's a beautiful day. The sun is out. It's already almost 25 degrees C. That is roughly 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're expecting a beautiful sunny day here, and also a lot of beautiful arrivals today. We've got 3 747s underway. We've got the Orange Pride underway. We have the KLM B777 SkyTeam livery underway. The Delta Airlines A330 Neo Team USA is also coming. Right now the Orange Pride is underway and the 747s are too. The first 747 to arrive is going to be Saudia, arriving from Jeddah, with Cargolux underway, expected around noon. The last of the 3 underway right now is AlbaStar, expected around 2:22. The Orange Pride is flying over here and is expected around 2:15. Think that those are going to be the last 2 airplanes of today's show. The plan is to stick around until approximately 2:20, 2:30, 2:15, 2:30. Capture those 747 and Orange Prides, and after that call it a day. E2 Embraer just landed. KLM Flight 1772. At the moment the Polderbaan is the only runway being used for arrivals. The same runway configuration is in place as earlier in the week. That is, runway 27 is going to be used as secondary runway, and at the moment 2 runways are being used for departures, namely runway 24 and 18 left. Next inbound airplane, I also briefly saw a glimpse of the Transavia on the downwind leg, but no longer see it. There is a little bit, maybe you can see it, just a little bit of high clouds over the sea further out, causing a little bit of a milky backdrop in the distance. The same goes for the east. Then inward also, further away, a bit more milkiness. Over here, generally speaking, a cloudless sky. We do have a little bit of wind, nice little breeze, that is nice. Otherwise it would be a scorcher. Wind is blowing from the southwest right now, handful of knots. Nothing much to write home about, but for people standing here like me, nice refreshing breeze. Our next airplane to arrive is the Lufthansa Flight 988 arriving from Frankfurt. It's an A320, 47 minutes underway. 14 years old, first flight November 2009. And in the meantime, a very good morning or afternoon or evening, depending on where you live, for all those who are already in the chat. Hope you're doing well. Und herzlich willkommen, Leute, die mit Lufthansa hier gekommen sind. And don't worry, Sander, made sure that I coated myself nicely with some sunscreen before going out. We should be good. Did not get burned from the previous 2 sun abundant streams on Monday and Sunday. So I'm thinking I should be good still. Embraer 190, KLM, flight 980, arriving from London City. Transavia 737 arriving from Barcelona should be next, should be turning onto the glide slope from the left at some point. There we go. Transavia flight 5132 arriving from Barcelona. Now from the right, I'm also expecting an A321neo from Aegean arriving from Athens. There it is in the top left, top right. Now in the center. Right, KLM flight 980, Embraer 190, returning from London City, 39 minutes underway, all par for the course. 12-year-old airplane, first flight January 2012. You can see there's a little bit of breeze in the background, windmills are spinning ever so slightly. That's a good thing that there is a little bit of wind. It is nice and toasty otherwise. The grass over here still hasn't been cut. Now, the Netherlands, famous for its weed. Here you can see it growing. Hadi Roy, goedemorgen. Hadi Hans, goedemorgen. And all others. Paul, good morning. All viewers who have joined in the meantime, good morning one and all. Hope you're doing well. Over here, a nice sunny summery day in the Netherlands, as you guys can see. The next airplane coming in is also a special livery, the first of several that we are expecting in the duration of this stream. This is the Peter Pan Vakantie Club, Peter Pan Holiday Club special livery. Arriving from Barcelona, the trash airplane, TRA-8H. Meanwhile, overhead traffic passing by. .737 comes in, 737 goes out. Nicely balanced. Peter Pan Vakantie Club. Flight time 1 hour 46 minutes. The PHHSI, 11 years old. Let's see, flight radar says that there's also an airplane approaching left of me, arriving from Zurich. Do I happen to see it? Not yet. Backdrop to the left is a bit milky, sadly. Good morning, Maria. Good morning, Dominic. Good morning, Jane. Good morning, Yuri. KLM fan. Liewe, goedemorgen. Jackie, goedemorgen. Marja, goedemorgen. Flying NL, good morning. AG soon to be in the house. Arriving from Athens. A321neo. Flight 3624, 2 hours and 52 minutes underway. The SX, nah. NAA. This airplane is 3 years old, had its first flight in September 2020. SX? Nah. Listeners might also pick up the sound of Christopher Coote. He's not alone. becomes ever more difficult to watch what happens in the water, at least on this side in the water, due to the overgrowing grass and whatnot. Haven't seen any other birds in the water just yet. Let's see, KLM flight 1002, arriving from London Heathrow, 737-800, 37 minutes underway. What else is coming? Should be an A319 turning in from the right in the background, arriving from Munich. Yeah, there it is. Several airplanes are approaching on the downwind leg, now in the vicinity of Leiden. KLM flight 598, 777-300. Before it flies Transavia 737 arriving from Ibiza. Got an airplane passing overhead, outbound. Another airplane is flying base 737 arriving from Zurich, another KLM. Outbound traffic overhead. Number 175 by the looks of it. Oh, what's this? Huh. Time to call in the yellow pickup trucks. Hurry up, mate. You're a little bit behind. Alright, the next airplane is getting closer by. It is Lufthansa once more, flight 2302 arriving from Munich. It's an A319. The airplane behind it at its 10 o'clock is KLM flight 1918 arriving from Zurich, 737-800. And I'm looking a bit more to the left to see if maybe I happen to see the 777, but not yet. Looks like it'll become number 4, with the number 3 now flying base arriving from Ibiza. You also hear more overhead outbound traffic passing by. This A319 underway for an hour and 2 minutes to get here. 28 years old already, first flight June 1996. But it does have a big ass Wi-Fi hump. Daila. Now you might be wondering, boy, can we see contrails today? The answer is apparently so. This is the first one I'm seeing since I've been here. Flying from southeast to northwest. And looking to pass me north, currently right east of me. Delta? Question mark? Hard to see. The airplane is on the wrong side. It's too close to the sun to see a lot of details on. Looking around me, I'm not seeing any other contrails in the sky at the moment. So let's focus on what we can see best then. This is KLM flight 1918, arriving from Zurich, 737-800. 1 hour and 5 minutes underway. It's the PHBCA. "13 years old, first flight November 2010. Hey there, Halil. Tuning in from Istanbul. And thank you, Sander, who says Air Canada A330. Me, myself also chimes in. Thank you both. Air Canada, eh? Good evening, Scott, tuning in from Melbourne. Epicar, good morning. Ange, good morning. Adriaan, goedemorgen. Marissa, goedemorgen. Good to see you. The screen is infinitely better to read now in the other position than it is from over here with all the reflections. I have to be smart when reading the chat. Transavia flight 5676 up first, arriving from Ibiza, 737-800. Behind it is KLM flight 598, which is a 777-300 arriving from Cape Town, South Africa. Flight time for the Transavia from Ibiza, 2 hours and 5 minutes as we speak. The Transavia 737 is 5 years old. First flight was in December 2018. And good morning to Mrs. Professor and to Tina. All others who have joined in the meantime, good morning. Now, it is time for the first 777-300 of the show. It is KLM flight 598 arriving from Cape Town, South Africa. 10 hours 51 minutes on the way. You can already see the next airplane in the background. Well, not the immediately next airplane. It is Transavia arriving from Ljubljana. Bit above it, you can see the number 2 now. Also looks like runway 27 has opened up for arrivals. Looking on flight radar, I think this first airplane is already approaching there. 10 hours 52 minutes on their way from Cape Town to Schiphol and about to land. 11 years old. Let's look and listen. En goedemorgen Iris. Good morning O-Gamer. All others who have joined in the meantime, welcome to the show. You're watching Amos Live, my name is Boy. We are standing along the Polderbaan, runway 18 right. At the moment, one of two runways being used for arrivals. We have wind blowing from the southwest. We have 747s underway. Special liveries. Both the PHBVD and the PHBVA are coming. And more. The A330 Neo, Delta Airlines, Team USA also coming. EasyJet in the foreground, Transavia in the background. The EasyJet arriving from Copenhagen, A320 Neo. The Transavia in the background, A737 arriving from Ljubljana, Slovenia. Goedemorgen Richard en Stefan en Gerrit en Jolande. And you're welcome Jolande. Right, flight time 1 hour and 2 minutes, par for the course. Brand new airplane. This airplane began flying in February this year. Paint has barely dried up. No Wi-Fi hump. Or is there? Ah. Could that be it? Well, we are getting a Neo butt shot. Next up Transavia, flight 6820 arriving from Ljubljana, Slovenia, 1 hour 27 minutes on the way. 737-800 HZV, 22 years old, first flight June 2002. So there's actually quite a few birds over here in the grass. The next airplane is turning base. Will be coming in a few minutes. Gives us a good moment to have another look at the current status quo. So at the moment we have Saudia expected around 11:42. Might be, if it is a bit earlier, it might go to runway 27. It has caught up a bit of time. This one will arrive on Polderbaan. Jesus is flying from Belfast to Jersey. Jesus will not be bothering us anytime soon. Atlas Air arriving from Miami, expected around 2:22 is coming. We have the Orange Pride expected around 2:20 as well. The Emirates A380 is expected around 1:03. So yeah, that is also a bit iffy. If it catches up a few minutes, we might get to see it. Wind blowing from the southwest At the moment, 7 knots, 304. It is CAV okay, ceiling and visibility are okay. It is 25 degrees C already. That is 80 degrees F. Let me update the ticker with the meter I just copied. I'm expecting a CAV okay day all the way. And wind is also expected to stay in the southwesterly corner. So I'm not expecting any changes in runway use anytime soon. Got something flying overhead coming my way. Little twin jet. Is that also Air Canada? That is the highest my camera can go. Now, is that Air Canada or is that Delta? Hard to see. Dreamliner Air Canada. Cool. This is Iberia Express. In the meantime, on the glide slope, arriving from Madrid, flight 3722. It's an A320. 1 hour 54 minutes underway. The EC KOH. It is 20 years old. First flight June 2004. ITA Airways up next after this airplane. Now flying base. A320neo arriving from Milan. KLM A330 looks to become number 3. Arriving from Toronto. And also a massive big thank you to Yolanda for your super sticker. Shiba dog with a big smile on his face, tilting his head. Well, tilting his head is certainly something I did just now. Always a bit tricky if they come really overhead, those airplanes. But it is nice. Also hearing a siren. Ambulance. And in the meantime, Iberia Express arriving from Madrid. Having landed after 1 hour and 55 minutes. Anybody home? There's a nice little refreshing breeze. You can see it in the water on the scale of chimney smoke. Looks like this. Really nice. Would be a scorcher if it weren't blowing, but luckily it is. ITA Airways flight 120 A320neo arriving from Milan up next. 1 hour 25 minutes underway. The airplane next behind it is a bit below it. That is an A330-300 KLM arriving from Toronto. Gear is extending, nice to see. After the A330, it's back to the narrow bodies. KLM B744 is flying base, arriving from Brussels. Embraer 190 looks to become number 3. Behind it, a bit more to the northwest, is BA flight 430. Arriving from London Heathrow, that's an A320 coming in. Third airplane turning in the background, nice to see. Or, yeah, it is coming this way, it's just overshooting the glide slope a little bit. For a moment I was thinking, is it going to go to center or something, but that can't be. And it's still closed for maintenance until the end of the month. And then, after it is going to reopen again from the beginning of July, it is said that at least until somewhere in September, it will not be used as regularly as before, because also ILS calibration still needs to take place and some other things that they need to do. This is KLM flight 696, A330, 300, arriving from Toronto, Canada. 6 hours and 26 minutes underway. Vaka, the PH, aka 12 years old, first flight February 2012. Baby boy tractor, little itty bitty tractor, a mini tractor. Nice to see the tractors come in all sizes. Three airplanes on the glide slope. Embraer 190 arriving from Brussels up first. KLM flight 1704. The airplane behind it, the BA A320 arriving from London Heathrow. And at its 7 o'clock, the number 3, a Chinese triple. Chinese triple arriving from Shanghai, and it looks like after that triple might be playtime. No, I'm not liking what I'm seeing. I'm using a battery for my monitor because using an USB-C connector did not give a stable connection. Battery was 100% at the beginning of the stream. It is already at 60%. I do have two, but it seems that maybe they need to be charged first a couple of times before they reach their full potential, but not like how it is already at 60% after being busy now for half an hour or so. Now the HDMI connection is also running through it, so if I have to change the battery, that means that the screen will go to black for a minute. It does take only a few seconds, so disappointing, as they were advertised to be able to last several hours. Han also in the chat. Morning mate, good to see you again. Hope all is well. Ooh. Chinese triple back to back, nice. Double Chinese triple time, and then it is playtime. Nice. Now this is China Southern Cargo, flight 495, arriving from Shanghai. 10 hours and 38 minutes on the way. It's the boom. It almost looks like it says boom. The B20EM. 4 years old, first flight February 2020. Nice. That was not disappointing at all. Next please. China Southern Cargo, arriving from Chongqing, flight 2577, another 777 freighter, the B2071. 10 hours and 6 minutes on the way to get here. 15 years old, first flight March 2009. Might as well attach the USB-C cable to the monitor anyway. See if maybe then the battery drains a little bit slower. Right, ladies and gentlemen, what time is it? Does anybody have the time? Do you know what time it is? Alright, well, attach the USB-C charging cable to my monitor, see if maybe now it sticks at 60%. Now it also is getting power from USB-C, hopefully. Now after the red airplane in the foreground, we have an A321neo from JetBlue arriving from Boston, Massachusetts. Over here we have play, flight 460, A320neo. It is playtime, of course. 2 hours and 48 minutes it has taken this airplane to get here. Airplane a year old, first flight March 2023. Duckies are in the house, or at least one of them is. The one with the yellow eyes, the dark feathers. Next up, JetBlue, arriving from Boston, Massachusetts. Flight 631, A321neo, 6 hours and 16 minutes underway. The airplane 3 years old, first flight June 2021. Very good morning to Paul and JD, also in the Lurkers Lounge. JetBlue will be giving us a butt shot, I'm sure of it. Time for the next airplane. It is KLM 1268 737-900 arriving from Copenhagen. 56 minutes underway, the PHB XS, 22 years old, first flight October 2001. Me myself says you may zoom in for the Beluga crossing west, east, north of you. How far north of me? Because I'm not seeing anything in the sky whatsoever. Hey Janus, good morning, good to see you again, mate. Beluga. Where is the Beluga then? 20 miles to the east right now. Well, you tell me where I need to look. I'm not seeing any contrails whatsoever. "20 miles to the west, passing a bit north of the airport." How far north of me will it pass? Only thing I see right now west of me is high cirrus clouds. No contrails, nothing. Amersfoort, Alkmaar. You guys are all over the place. Alkmaar is north of me. Amersfoort is pretty far east of me. Castricum, Beverwijk. Oh wow. There are two. Well, I'm seeing none. And you guys are confusing me with your instructions where to look. Okay, I think I see something which isn't producing a contrail. Happened to spot it. Let's see. No. Let's see. Should be there. Yes, I think I have it. Cool. Okay, there's one. And do you guys see how it's not producing a contrail? Really hard to see then. This is the one flying north of me. Over Culemborg number 2. Culemborg. Yeah, but that is way over there. And you can see there's nebulosity further away, all around. It is bluish over here. The further I need to look, the more nebulous it gets, the background. Let's see, what is this? This is KLM flight 1406 arriving from Paris-Charles de Gaulle. Oh wow, battery drained to 40%. Doesn't seem to help the cable. Incredible. Hey, that's good news. Dirk on tour says Saudia 747 for Polderbaan. That is nice. So it is coming this way, the first of the three. And since the other two are coming from the west, I'm thinking the other two will also come to Polderbaan. Adios, good morning. Right, so been streaming now for less than an hour, already at 40%. Hopefully things will improve with that battery after a couple of charges. Two airplanes on the glide slope right now. In the foreground, EasyJet A319 arriving from Bristol. In the background, KLM, but by the looks of it, German Airways flying for KLM, arriving from Basel. Bas Hell. Third airplane behind it is TUI, arriving from Curaçao, Willemstad. Nice. Dreamliner coming in, first in A319. Some fireworks are being set off further to the north. Bird control is at the premises. Yeah, also a little bit of a Contrail remnant from something that passed me by. There's also something coming my way, which will pass south of me. Another twin jet. Bit hard to see, particularly with all the reflections. There's a nice little refreshing breeze, it has to be said. Luckily, it is a warm summery day. Temperatures in the 80s, F25C already. We're set to approach 30C later today, roughly 90 F. Hey Paul, also back in the chat. Morning mate, good to see you again. Hope all is well. This is another one of the special liveries that we were expecting. The Adler, German Airways, flying for KLM. Flight 1944, arriving from Basel. Boss Hell. If you have a manager who's a dick, send him to Boss Hell. Let's see, that airplane of which I saw a vague contrail. I'm hearing it. It has passed me by. Now it stopped producing a contrail. I think I might be able to... No, not yet. Shot in the dark. No matter. Dreamliner time. TUI arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao. Also looks like there is a Chinese triple taking off from runway 24. Or has it already taken off? Or is it still taxiing? Oh, that's one of the Chinese triples that we saw land. My bad. Disregard, as usual. Babbling nonsense. Now, this is KLM flight 924, 737-800 arriving from Edinburgh. 1 hour 4 minutes underway. 24 years old, PHB XE. First flight April 2000. And good morning, Jordi and Peter. No others who have joined in the meantime. Good morning, Split Scimitar. Doing well, thank you for asking. Hope that also goes for you. So the first of the 3 747s has been assigned to Polderbaan, and that was the one that was the most tricky, with runway 27 also open expectedly until 11:40 local time. But it is coming to Polderbaan. That's good news. Little beetle using my arm as a little parking place to rest. Not gonna happen on my watch. The next airplane to arrive is number 175, arriving from Stavanger. The next airplane behind it is approaching from the west on the base leg. 777-300, KLM flight 736, arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao. I'm already looking to the left to see if I can see it. I think ordinarily we would have been able to see it, but because of the milky backdrop it becomes a bit more difficult. Not a lot of contrast. Will become apparent on the glide slope eventually. Okay, Choc-y West 747 lined up on Polderbaan. Nice. There it is, going to Baku, Choc-y West. What's this regular Choc-y? It will be going to Baku, so I'm thinking it is going to make a left-hand turn. Won't be coming our way. From Saudia 747 to Riyadh by the looks of it on the platform. There you see it making the left hand turn, turning to the east, away from us sadly. KLM Embraer. In the meantime, having landed, the 777-300 should be on the glide slope. Let's see. I think I see it. Glistening in the distance. There we go. KLM flight 736 arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao. PHBVS 8 hours and 42 minutes on the way. The first flight was in February 2017, making this airplane 7 years old. Good morning, Klaus. Really have to hold my hand in front of my screen to see the messages. Thinking about maybe biting the bullet and upgrading my phone to one of those S24 Ultras. These they are very well legible in bright conditions. The airplane that you see in the background is another KLM airplane. It is flight 1042 arriving from Birmingham. And you can see that the airplanes are crabbing a little bit. We have a bit of crosswind. Hey there, Captain Eddie Boss. Good evening. Yo, Alan. What is up, Huggy Bear? That is a typical gentle KLM landing, not too loud. Probably nice for the people on board, but a bit dull for us. Now there's definitely some heavy hitters underway. Ah, Elwa has the S24 Ultra. Do you have any issues with the phone overheating when exposed directly to sunlight? That is my main concern, that it will not hold up when it is attached to my camera right now, as my current phone is out here in the field with the sun shining on it constantly. I've heard some stories, read some stories that it would dim the screen to protect it from overheating after exposure to direct sunlight after just a couple of minutes. If that is the case, then it is definitely not an upgrade that it's not the phone for me, let me put it like that. Now in the meantime, flight radar tells me that the 747 is approaching, flying just a bit north of Purmerend. Now looking towards Purmerend, the sky is rather okay. So let's see if we can spot the 747, shall we? Now Purmerend lies in the distance behind the chimneys of the scale of chimney smoke. Thinking if we are able to see the 747, it should be somewhere over there. Let's make the shot a little bit wider. Let's also watch on the laptop screen. I'm not seeing it. Well, in that case, let's just stick to what we can see. The next airplane, barely visible, but at least it is on the glide slope. KLM flight 982, arriving from London City. The 747 should be approaching. Would be nice if we could see it turn in. Let's give it another go. Still unable to see it. let's give it another go. So hey, there we go. Saudia 747, flying towards the glide slope on the base leg, arriving from Jeddah, the first of 3 747s for today's show, ladies and gentlemen. We're also expecting the Orange Pride and the PHBVD, the 777-300 ER KLM in the SkyTeam livery. We're also expecting the airplane on the thumbnail of today's stream, the A330neo Delta Airlines Team USA, on its way from Seattle. Expected around the end of the morning, if I'm not mistaken. Things are getting a little bit wobbly. Let me enable image stabilizer. Right, going to forgo the Embraer. Focus on the Air Atlanta Europe flying for Saudia 747-400, arriving from Jeddah. 5 hours 23 minutes underway. The airplane is 27 years old, first flight November 1996, true millennial. Well, the thing is, I read reviews about the Ultra and the S24s in general that they were overheating rapidly and that they would then automatically dim their screens when exposed to sunlight ever so slightly. But they seem to be reviews from earlier, don't seem to be very recent reviews. But yeah, I mean, my phone is now currently in a mount attached to my camera. The sun is now fully shining on it. Hard to read, but it's also getting warm, of course, through the sunshine. But it holds up. Got the screen at maximum brightness, and only once last year during, I think, 30+ degrees Celsius did it once give a warning of overheating and dimming the screen. But it held up nicely during all the sunny weather that we had last year. No issues whatsoever. Of course, that is also what I require from an upgrade. But yeah, you'd think if the S24 Ultra doesn't hold up during sunny conditions, then what phone will? Now, if this stream is providing you some value in the form of entertainment and you haven't already, consider giving it a like. It really helps to spread this content to new fans who don't know the channel just yet. This is the first of 3 747s expected in today's stream, the A380. Last time we checked was expected a few minutes past 1 o'clock, so that might land on runway 27. If it catches up a few minutes, it might also land on the Polderbaan. We saw that before in the beginning of the week. Now, I'm not going to say we're going to get lucky 3 times in a row, but you never know. First up, Queen time. Let's look and listen. Hope she'll get loud. We'll soon find out. Wow, that was a bit disappointing in the audio department, wasn't it? That was Captain Letdown. Well, 2 more chances later in the stream. Hopefully those will be a bit better. Next to this Embraer time, then the first next airplane to arrive is an Embraer 190 arriving from Aalborg, KLM flight 1284, and behind it is an E2 Embraer 195 arriving from Manchester. We also have an EasyJet approaching from the right, somewhere in the background. That is arriving from Pisa. Pisa. Kermit and his compadres are also here. They're not getting as loud as they were earlier in the week. Yet. And good morning to Hector, who is tuning in from Honduras. Must be still early over there. Welcome to the show, mate. Hope you'll enjoy. Runway 27 is closed, all traffic inbound is coming to the Polderbaan right now. And Jordi says Cargolux 747 from Miami in about 15 minutes, excellent. Oh, little contrail visible flying directly away from me. West to east, already east of me. No contrails in the sky otherwise. Bit of cirrus clouds looking to the west. This is where the wind is coming from approximately. Also some friendly clouds in the sky to the south, southeast, east, northeast. Back to the north with an E2 arriving from Manchester, KLM flight 1030. Flight time 48 minutes. 2 years old, first flight, May 2022. Morning, chaps. More outbound traffic passing overhead, 737 by the looks of it. And as the next airplane is approaching, the A320neo arriving from Pisa, let's also do a check of the weather once more. Wind is still blowing from the south to southwest and has increased to double digits, 11 knots, 4 above 4 now. We have few clouds at 4,000 feet, so it's no longer a cavalcade day. The air temperature is now 26 degrees C, and you can see a spike in the wind speed. The temperature graph is following more or less the same path as yesterday, with a top expected around the high 20s or 80s F. Accidentally pressed on the label of the airport this airplane was coming from, so now My map is in Italy, in Pisa. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Next up, KLM Flight 954 arriving from Newcastle. Embraer 190. And somewhere behind it, there it is, we have a 777-200 arriving from LAX, KLM Flight 604. Second 747 is approaching the coast, still over the North Sea a little bit. Hey, that is good news, Stefan. Might be at Polderbaan next Sunday. Well, if you're are you talking about this Sunday or the Sunday after that? At least for the weekend, I think the weather was still expected to be good. I don't know what it's going to be next week, but it does look the sunny weather will continue. Just as of tomorrow, I think it's going to get a little bit cooler. Not that that is something bad. We've got this 777-200 arriving from LAX. Vaguely visible in the distance. The Embraer 190 arriving from Norwich, that is behind it, and the 747 is flying base somewhere over there. Is that it? I think it is. No, wait, that's the Embraer 190. KLM Asia returning from the United States. And beautiful, shiny, squeaky clean flap surfaces. Ah, there it is, the 747. You can see contrast is a bit poor today. The second 747, it is now on the glide slope. Here it comes. Arriving from Miami. Cargolux. In the foreground, KLM Flight 1056. Arriving from Norwich. Embraer 190, 29 minutes on the way from Norwich to Amsterdam so far. The Fexy PHEXY, 6 years old, first flight February 2018. again I'm going to forgo the landing of the Embraer. Queen numero dos, Cargolux 68K. 7 hours and 51 minutes on the way to get here from Miami, Florida. Boeing 747-400 Freighter ER, 17 years old, first flight November 2006. You can definitely tell that there is a double-digit wind speed now blowing. Now, will this Queen be a bit louder than the last one? We'll find out soon enough. That's better, that's better. Still not the loudest of 747 landings that we've witnessed, but it's getting there, it's getting there. Adriaan zegt, je had ook een sticker van Jolande, die had ik al gezien. Of heeft ze er 2 gestuurd? Next up, KLM Flight 1088 Embraer 190 arriving from Cardiff. 53 minutes on the way. You can see flying AMS Live logo behind it. That is a 787-10 Dreamliner arriving from Panama City. To fixate everything. Wind is blowing from left behind, so a lot of surface area it is now encountering, causing vibrations despite the use of image stabilizer. Right. Here it is. KLM flight 758. It's a 787-10 Dreamliner arrival from Panama City. On the way now for 9 hours and 40 minutes. The PH-BKK, 3 years old, first flight December 2020. Mrs. Professor signing off, has to go to bed. Thank you for joining, Mrs. Professor. Sleep tight, see you in the next one hopefully. Spotless, those flap surfaces really nice. Now, despite having attached a USB-C cable to the monitor, it is still now at 20%, so I think it is still consuming the battery. That is what, 80% in 1.5 hours. That is really poor. That is really piss poor. What a lousy bit of kit if the batteries are spent so quickly. GTA Kevin says, nice, see a lot of airplanes from my balcony in Haarlem taking off, landing as well, and then with flight radar. Long distance spotting, nice. Can do the same from my hometown. Planes landing to runway 06 or taking off from runway 24 often pass by. Really close by. This is Transavia arriving from Olbia. Flight 6914. One of the many 737-800s in Transavia's fleet. Hey. Contrail remnant, but is it coming or going? Not seeing. Oh wait, yes, nice. Something passing by just south of me. Let me see if I can film it because it isn't producing a contrail. Or only barely. Where is it? I think, is that it? That's at least where it has flown. There it is. Oh man. Following the airplanes with all the reflections, it is nearly impossible. Let's see. Yeah, no. Everything is reflecting. KLM flight 682, 777-300 arriving from Vancouver. 8 hours and 31 minutes on the way. PHBVK, 11 years old. First flight May 2013. Hey there, Bookie Meow, good to see you again. Welcome back. Quick look and see where the airplanes of interest are at. The next airplane approaching is an A320neo arriving from Milan. Let's have a look and see what else is coming. So Jesus is flying to Jersey, or has just landed at Jersey, arriving from Belfast. Atlas Air arriving from Miami, 7478 expected around 2:11, and Orange Pride also expected around 2:11. So these are the last two airplanes of the day, I think. Emirates A380 arriving from Dubai, expected around 1:03 p.m. still. That might go to the wrong runway. Now the wind for today was expected to stay in the southwesterly corner with the peak around the end of the afternoon. We are standing over here. I think that is at the moment still, yeah, once again the only runway for arrivals. At least until 1 o'clock. Then runway 27 is also expected to open up. Epic R says, what is your hometown? That is the beautiful town of Lisse, where the Keukenhof is also situated. Well, that is outside of the village, but it is in the same municipality. Time to take some more vodka. Gotta stay hydrated. This is an A320neo from EasyJet arriving from Milan Malpensa, right? MXP, that is Milan Malpensa, right? 1 hour and 23 minutes on the way. 123. Austrian registered OELSI. The airplane is 4 years old, first flight September 2019. Hey there, Clemencia. Good to see ya. Yeah. On days like today, visibility of my phone, the live chat in particular, is a severe bottleneck. I think it is time to bite the bullet. Huh? Stefan will be having dinner at the Greek in the Kanaalstraat. Nice, man. Now also a warm welcome back and a massive big thank you and congratulations to Roadhog, who says hey to Boy and all other airheads while he is celebrating 9 months of membership. Thank you so much for your support, and I hope you still like it in the lounge, Roadhog. Do let me know if something isn't to your liking and let me see what I can do about it. But thank you so much for your continued support. Here's to another 9 months of at least frequent visitorship. Even if you choose not to stay a member, hopefully you will stay a frequent visitor for some time to come. Now, this airplane is located on the right side, namely away from the sun. Makes it a bit easier for me to see. Quite clearly visible what airplane this is. 777 Emirates. Looks like the old livery. The old standard livery. But that is too hard for me to see with certainty. That's just bluff. Bridgie Hopper has just landed. EasyJet no, that's not EasyJet, that has already landed. KLM up next, arriving from Bristol. Regular KLM, blue KLM, so to speak. And we have another KLM, but that looks more like German Airways. In the background, Embraer 175 in the foreground, Embraer 190 in the background. The Embraer 190 in the background is arriving from Berlin. Behind it should be another KLM Embraer, Embraer 175, now forming a linear glide slope shot. Oh man, those vibrations are really, at least to me, they're annoying. Seagull is also flying in front of the camera. Now overhead. Well, at least he didn't drop anything while he flew over me. Oh, also Contrail flying west of me. Coming towards me. Nice combo shot with the outbound traffic as well. I see winglets. Is that an A330? 300? Almost looks like an A330 300. German Airways Embraer 190 arriving from Berlin, flying for KLM is flight 1774. 58 minutes underway. Nominal flight time. The airplane is 15 years old. First flight January 2009. Guus Meeuwis. That could also have been the case. Gus Seagullus. Embraer 195 arriving from Dublin, KLM flight 1136. It has the 1700th E-Jet sticker on it, and that is located on the left side of the airplane, and the airplane is not crabbing nearly enough for us to be able to see that sticker. So for us it will look like a regular Embraer 190, E2 Embraer 195 I should say. 1 hour 4 minutes to get from Dublin to Amsterdam, PH NXM. A year old, first flight September 2022. Alrighty. The LVNL station wagon. Opel. 737 to Bergen, outbound. It's going to pass overhead. Next up, Aer Lingus, Shamrock flight 604, also arriving from Dublin, 1 hour and 2 minutes underway. '23-year-old airplane, first flight February 2001. Next airplane behind this one is going to be an A330. A330-200 arriving from Bonaire, KLM flight 767. ICVC. And this is KLM flight 767, A330-200 arriving from Bonaire, the B and the ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao, lying off the coast of Venezuela. This A330 is the FRA-YUL, P-H-A-O-C, FRA-YUL. And Swaley is saying bom dia from Brazil. Donzelli also in the chat. Zombit says, hello peeps, did we have a Jesus check? Absolutely, Jesus is, where was he again? One of the Channel Islands, I think. Jersey or Guernsey or something. Jesus is not coming to the Netherlands, so we are free to do whatever we want. And this is the FRA-YUL. The FRA-YUL is 18 years old, had its first flight in October 2005. Now, I'm thinking with the prevailing wind, having a big monitor on my screen causes a lot of vibrations. Battery is also at 20%, so it will have to be replaced at some point. Might as well just take it off and go back to the old configuration, which requires me to replace the HDMI cable. Might as well do that when there's not a lot of interesting traffic coming in, and before the Orange Pride and the 747 and the A380 are coming. Will result in a few moments of a black screen. That is not the connection lost, but just taking the HDMI cable and replacing it for another. Bear with me, that won't be long. There we go, we should be back in the air again. There's one HDMI cable done. Now I can also switch off the monitor and detach it from my camera. Just a little bit of cable management. Hello. Yeah. Sorry? Power source. Power station. Ah, nice. Enjoy the day. Right, so still have to detach the monitor, but is this Captain Wheelie? No, while Captain Wheelie is making... No, it's First Officer Wheelie. Almost. Almost. Well, I'm almost done with the reconstruction. Bear with me. I have to. Getting the cables that I don't need out of the way. And disconnecting and putting away the monitor. So the camera is also a lot more aerodynamic now. Probably a bit more resistant to shudders from the wind now. Let's see, this one is still needed. Yeah, cool. Right, let's see, this is Vueling A320 arriving from Barcelona. Flight 8309, 1 hour and 54 minutes underway. Delta A330 in the Team USA livery, now third for arrival. That is nice. The next airplane to arrive is an Embraer 190 KLM flight 1164 arriving from Bergen, and that is the Team USA special livery, the A330 Neo, already now number 2. Right, KLM flight 1164. Flight time 1 hour and 26 minutes from Bergen to Amsterdam. It's the FAZ PHEZZ. This airplane is 10 years old and had its first flight in November 2013. Windy. Right, here we have the airplane that is on the thumbnail. Delta Airlines, the Team USA A330 Neo arriving from Seattle, Washington, flight 144. 8 hours and 51 minutes underway so far. 3 years old, this airplane. Its first flight was in May 2021. not exactly the loudest of landings, but it was a nice one. Now I'm thinking that the next airplane to arrive is also going to be a Delta A330, a regular 300, arriving from Minneapolis, flight 164, now flying base. There's also an Embraer 190 coming from the other side, but that looks like it is a bit further out. In the meantime, Christopher Good is doing, well, no longer morning but afternoon cardio. Marissa says, I think the lot might sneak ahead. That could be the case. That they'll send, yeah, they're sending the Delta a bit further to the north, so they are going to let the lot go first. A lot to see in a few moments. Meanwhile, big picture wise, wind on the scale of chimney smoke. Let's have a quick rundown of the weather while we still have a few minutes before the next traffic comes in. Current status quo in terms of runway use, still Polderbaan the only runway used for arrivals. We're standing approximately over here around 1 o'clock, between 1 and 2. I'm expecting this runway to also open up a secondary runway for arrivals, which does not bode well for the A380, which was, last time we checked, expected to arrive. Hey, Bonus Queen! Bonus Queen arriving from Paris. That is expected around 125. It is, if it is approaching the Netherlands from this side, from the west, might see it. If it moves a bit more like so, it might be going to runway 27. Yeah. Well, this one is going to be exciting. Will it land on runway 27 or will it land on 18 right? Last time we were here, it was around landing on 18 right. The Orange Pride is flying over mainland Spain and is expected at 13 minutes past 2. The 7478 from Atlas Air is expected around 2:09. So Orange Pride is likely going to be the last airplane for today's show. Update of the METAR. You can see that the temperature graph and the gray is yesterday is following the same course as yesterday. Peaked at around 29 degrees C, just under 90 F. That's also expected for today. The wind is still solidly blowing from the southwest and has increased now to 12 knots, 4/4. This is the wind graph of today and you can see a sharp peak. Air temperature at the moment is 27 degrees C, that is 54, 84 F approximately. Pasting the ticker in the METAR for you guys. Hey Wolfgang, also in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Hope all is well. A bonus queen. So 4 queens today in the show. The A380. Well, I'm counting on it going to runway 27, but who knows, we might get a lucky surprise there. And in the meantime, indeed, the Embraer 190, a lot to see. A lot to see in pole position. Delta Airlines A330 arriving from Minneapolis behind it. Yes, Chrissy Koet. Christopher Koet. And his mate. Over here. Always doing cardio. Lot flight 263 arriving from Warsaw, the first airplane on the glide slope. Embraer 190. 1 hour and 31 minutes. SPLMB is its registration. The airplane is 5 years old, first flight December 2018. and never give up. Yeah, absolutely. The 10% discount for AMS Live OnlyFans page that is linked in the community section is still valid until a couple of more weeks, I think. So if you haven't checked it out yet, make sure to do so. Find it in the community section, the most recent post. There's a link. AMS Live OnlyFans now live. Yeah, duck duo also here. Frogs are awake now. They're getting a bit louder. Now, will this next airplane get a bit louder than the A330neo we saw land just now? This is Delta Airlines Flight 164 and this is an A330-300. Arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Flight 164, 7 hours and 26 minutes on the way. 17-year-old airplane, first flight October 2006. Well, they're not getting really loud today. That's a bit unfortunate. The Contour, thank you so much for your month of support and membership. Hope you still like it in the lounge. Derek writes, hope the CX-747 comes to Polderbaan. Yeah, absolutely. That is still a bit unclear. You will be able to make an assessment by the flight path. If it is approaching the Netherlands from the province of Zeeland, then it is likely going to go to Polderbaan. Still, by then you will also be able to see what runway it will be assigned to on the Omgevingsinfo website. Next up is Vueling Flight 1377, arriving from Alicante, A320, 2 hours and 8 minutes on their way. It's the EC Mia Culpa. EC Mia Culpa is 9 years old, first flight December 2014. And that dot is still there. Turkish A330 entering Dutch airspace confirmed for Polderbaan, Marissa says. Nice. Yeah, if it is in Dutch airspace now, it is expected to land before 1 o'clock, so that should make sense that everything still entering the country right now will be assigned Polderbaan. Okay, RAF Boeing overhead. North of me, south of me. Throw me a bone here, ladies and gentlemen. If you want me to see if I can spot overhead traffic, need to know where I need to look. This is KLM flight 1830, returning home from Stuttgart. 57 minutes it has taken so far, this Embraer 190, and it is the Phexe, P-H-E-X-E. 8 years old, first flight November 2015. Right, a little bit north of you, west to east. Thought I saw something there. Now I don't anymore. Now I have it again, maybe over there? No, that was not it, but I now know I need to be a bit further. No. I did see something that wasn't producing a contrail. That's the problem over here today, no contrails. Vueling A320 arriving from Valencia, no, Transavia, arriving from Avion Express flying for Transavia, huh? That person on the wrong label? Now a massive big thank you to Mark for your 3 months of membership. Mark writes, time flies fast, as do the airplanes. They definitely do. They're gone before you know it. Thank you so much for your continued support, Mark. I hope you still like it in the lounge. Do let me know if something isn't to your liking. Now I do see two little itty bitty contrails that are flying towards each other. In the meantime, over here we have... Ah, that's why it was pushing so hard. I forgot to set the counterbalance one notch lower because there's less weight on the mount now. Almost immediately overhead. Very nice. I was really wondering why is my mount providing me so much resistance as I was trying to move it up, but that explains it. Next up, KLM flight 622, 777-300 arriving from Atlanta, Georgia, 7 hours and 12 minutes on the way. The PHBVO, biertje voor onderweg. The airplane behind it is also a 777, that is a 777-200 arriving from Guayaquil. KLM flight 755. Double triple time. Double triple time. It does look like it is coming towards us, isn't it? Doesn't it? Adi Mieke, goedemiddag. No others who have joined in the meantime, good afternoon. We have a bonus queen underway. There are two 747s underway, one from Paris, one from Miami. The A380 is also expected a few minutes past 1 o'clock. Whether or not it is going to go to runway 27 remains to be seen. We were lucky on Monday. Sunday and Monday, 2 consecutive days of seeing the A380 land on the Polderbaan. I'm not getting overly hopeful, but it would be nice. Next up is KLM flight 755, 777-200 ER, arriving from Guayaquil, and that is in. The airplane has been flying for 11 hours and 10 minutes. The PHBQL, 18 years old, first flight February 2006. SAS A320neo arriving from Oslo. The next airplane on the glide slope, a bit further out. In the meantime, our high cop friend, outbound, Choc-y, German Airways, Embraer 190, the DXB-DUB, on a new adventure. To Aalborg. In the meantime, arriving from Oslo is the next airplane. That is SAS flight 823, A320neo. 1 hour and 29 minutes underway to get here. The Sirua, S-E-R-U-A, Sirua. And Sirua, 4 years old, had its first flight in June 2020. Saudia 787 is going to Polderbaan. That's probably the herons. Herons are doing a little bit of flying, and we have the Koets sitting there chilling and relaxing. Now, if the Saudia is already assigned to Polderbaan, is the A380 behind it? If it is, then that is also going to the Polderbaan runway 27. KLM flight 1354, 737-700 arriving for Prague. A380 indeed behind Saudia, Marissa says. Okay, well, that settles it then. A380 going to runway 27. Hey, Michael also in the chat. Just gotta work, gotta give a check ride to one of the pilots. Okay. Well, have fun working. And see you in the next one then, hopefully. Now, in the upcoming hour and 15 or so minutes, 1.5 hours, 2 747s are expected. Although we still have to see what the one from Paris will do. Is it airborne already? Let's have a look. 737 has landed. The next airplane is an Embraer 190 arriving from Aberdeen. Grown curious, let's see. Have a quick check. This looks nice, this looks nice. This might fly like so, and then to the Polderbaan. If it's going to runway 27, it will deviate to the east at some point. Probably in the vicinity of Rotterdam, but then again, it is already almost at the point where you will see the runway assignment. The Emirates A380 is already in Dutch airspace, but yeah, that will go to the wrong runway. Jesus is still in Jersey, will be returning to Belfast. 747-8 expected to 11 west of Ireland, and now over the Bay of Biscay. That's the Bay of Biscay, right? The Orange Pride expected around 2:16. KLM flight 912 arriving from Aberdeen, German Airways, Embraer 190 flying for KLM, 1 hour 14 minutes underway. The airplane is 16 years old, first flight January 2008. This airplane just as old as Choc-y and the Orange Pride. Moving away from the sun means I can read the chat a little bit. Hey, 747 confirmed for Polderbaan, Marissa says. So that is nice. The bonus queen will also be coming to the runway we are filming right next to. Cool. And although not unexpectedly, Dirk is also saying that the A380 is confirmed for Polderbaan, so the A380 is the only one that gets away today. KLM flight 1004, 737-800 arriving from London Heathrow. 41 minutes on the way, and we can see something turn in. Is that Turkish? Was that Turkish? I think it was Turkish, wasn't it? Hey there, Andy Q. Still have to hold my hand in front of the screen. Ward of the reflections. Good to see you again, mate. Perfect timing. 2 747s incoming, and also The PH-BVD, one of the many special liveries. The PH-BVA is also underway, and this is the PH-BVD, the SkyTeam livery 777-300ER. Flying today is KLM flight 744, returning home from Lima in Peru. 11 hours and 56 minutes on the way. Nearly a freaking half day, ladies and gentlemen. Nearly 12 hours in the air. The PH-BVD by Voorbaat Dank, which translates to thanks in advance. 14 years old. Big mofo it is, isn't it? Each time you say you crack me up, Michael says. Oh dear. Don't you be suing me for damages because you're cracked up. Everybody who is watching at your own discretion. That goes for cracks and also for the audio. Next up, Turkish Airlines A330-300 arriving from Istanbul, flight 1957, 2 hours and 46 minutes on their way. That's a little bit ahead of the average schedule, which normally averages around 3 hours precisely. Turkish A330 might get loud. 9-year-old airplane, first flight March 2015. Hey, Lance also in the chat chimes in. At least it's not an to Houston. Or from Houston, indeed. House music originating from Houston, Texas. But there's a fact that I think a lot of you didn't know. Turkish Airlines, flight 1957. Will it get loud? We'll soon find out. Let's take a listen. Rodney says, I like that silver and blue SkyTeam livery. Absolutely. I think it looks best on the 777-300. There's also an Embraer 190 and a 737-900 that are donned in the same livery, but I think it just pops a bit more or something. For some reason it looks better on a big airplane. There's Harry. Harry the hypnotizing heron. Now, I haven't seen any ducklings so far. I'm not sure if they are still alive or not. Welling, flight 8353 A320, arrival from Valencia. 2 hours and 4 minutes on their way. It's the EC Mac. And that's Mac with EQ, not AC. 9-year-old airplane that began flying in February of 2015. Andy says, house music from Houston. I'm a house DJ of 20 years standing and I never heard that. Om yum 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 yum. You're biting eagerly. And Mark is also biting eagerly. Om yum 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 yum. This is German Airways, flying for KLM Embraer 190, arriving back from Leeds. KLM flight 1020, the flight number. Flight duration 48 minutes. It's the DAWC. DAWSI, 17 years old, first flight January 2007. Andy says, Houston, we have a problem. Absolutely. Now, not sure, Andy and Mark, if you guys already checked out the sneak preview of my OnlyFans page. You can find the link in the community section. Have a look. Sneak preview of what you may find. Website has gone live. 10% discount if you go to the website via the link in the community section. Roy sadly needs to sign off and do chores. Well, it's been a pleasure to have you in the stream, Roy. Hope to see you in the next one. Take it easy with the chores. It's already warm enough, as it is already. KLM flight 1818 arriving from Frankfurt, Embraer 175. 51 minutes of flight time. It's the PHEX, P-H-E-X-X, not F-A-X. 6 years old, first flight February 2018. No reversers being applied here. Just rolling out casually. Maybe apply the squeaky brakes. Or has this one been given a few droplets of WD-40? Oh dear, Wolfgang, don't tell me you're biting as well. Wolfgang also seems to be biting. Om yum 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 yum. More vodka. Next up is Air France. Air France arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle. Flight 1640, 45 minutes underway. A320. Feppy or F happy. That sounds like hepatitis. Hep E. Feppy. A Feppy is 14 ans. Yeah, 14 years, first flight April 2010. Finnair, you have to see it to believe it. I highly recommend that you have a sneak preview before you make a judgment about whether or not you want to subscribe to my OnlyFans. Read the comments below, you'll see everybody is enthusiastic about it. At least the people who have checked. Now, EasyJet arriving from Manchester up next, A320. Cargolux over my hometown, nice. And let's see, the Emirates A380 should also be relatively close by. That is now on the base leg 427. Right. Now, if the 747 is flying over my hometown, I think it should be visible somewhere. Is that it, or is that the... Let's see. Camera cable management. Is that it? Is that the 747? Where is it? No, that's the outbound traffic. Oh, it is already past me. Oh, shoot. Bam! Bonus Queen, we have a visual. Bonus Queen on the downwind leg arriving from Paris. Let's quickly turn back. Have a quick look at TUI. Arriving from Zakynthos, Max 8. Thank you so much, Andy, for your super chat, for trolling the chat. Yeah, somebody has to do it. It's a dirty job, but somebody has to get their hands dirty. Now, if you want to see more dirty stuff, have a look at my link in the community section. AMS Live, OnlyFans, sight to behold. Another overshoot of the glide slope in the distance there. Icelandair flight 500 overshot a little bit, 767-300 arriving from Reykjavik. Getting back in line. And the bonus queen is turning in for the base leg. Looks like it'll become the number 3 behind the Icelandair 767. Now, this is AlbaStar flying for Transavia, arriving from Malaga. AlbaStar, flight 6114, albastar.es. And it is the EC National Geographic Channel. Turning in, giving us a butt shot. Michael says, sometimes ATC will have you fly through the localizer to get some space between you and the plane in front. Yeah, I mean, it's not that they turned in late. They probably got vectors to overshoot a little bit. Undoubtedly. I don't think it is... Wasn't on the impression that it was a pilot error or something. It's probably just following directions of ATC that did that with good reason. Oh, some of you are still taking things too seriously and are still... Wolfgang, I'm a bit disappointed in you, mate. Exactly, Michael. Pilots never make errors. They err on the right side of caution. Icelandair flight 500 arriving from Reykjavik, 767-300. 2 hours 40 minutes, now touching down. Also a 767-300 error. This one, 23 years old, first flight August 2000. Indeed, Jane, to err is human. Bonus Queen, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Arriving from Paris-Charles de Gaulle. Now, simultaneously, a big mofo is approaching to the wrong runway. Yeah. Kings to the right, Queens to the north. The Queen of the North. Cathay Pacific Cargo 7478 arriving from Paris-Charles de Gaulle, 42 minutes on the way. The BLJK. JK is exactly what we do here, or at least what I like to do. The airplane is 10 years old. First flight November 2013. Roy says, greetings from Adelaide, South Australia. Thank you for the wonderful channel. Thank you for your kind words, and also a big warm welcome to everybody who has joined in the meantime. This is the third queen of the show, and we're going to see 4 in total. This is a bonus queen that is arriving from Paris. Another 7478 expected around 2:15. Let's look and listen to this one. Dave says, did you see Jesus was stuck in Manchester with the power cut? God couldn't help them. My God. Yeah. So much for being all-knowing and all-powerful. Apparently a power cut. Well, or maybe Jesus did something bad and God just wanted to punish him. And that could also be it. That seems more likely. I mean, if you're all-knowing and omnipotent, now, let's see. Embraer 170 and an Embraer 190 up next. Right, Embraer 170 Britty Hopper, Embraer 190 arriving from Nantes. Another Embraer 190 arriving from London City. Hey, is the Dash 8 also coming in, the Coast Guard? Firefighters. Okay, nice. Okay, Jordy says, on my flight radar A380 is on the highway. I think we would have seen it then. Yeah, last time it landed, one of the last couple of times that it landed on the Polderbaan, it also landed in the vicinity of Haarlem according to flight radar. They are a bit off with their... Oh, taxiing on the A4, right. Cool. Chef says, talking about God wanting to punish people, he's coming for you next. I just checked out your OnlyFans. Great. Nice. Well, chefs, that's why I don't believe in God, but I believe in myself, which is almost the same but not quite. I think that makes me impervious for any retribution that any deities might throw at me. But I take it that you have subscribed, chefs, and I'm assuming that you are wildly enthusiastic about my OnlyFans page, just like everybody who has commented below it. Now in the meantime, folks, this is looking to the east, and this is looking to the south. From the west, cirrus clouds, and that milkiness that we saw at the distance initially seems to be getting closer by. If I recall correctly, there was also an area of, well, a frontal area or something that wasn't going to lead to precipitation, but a bit more cloudiness was coming from the west later today, so that is probably it then. Anja also, boy, je had ons goed te pakken. That is Dutch. That is Dutch for I really like that website, and have a look if you haven't already. Talking about the OnlyFans page, the link you can find in the community section. Don't forget to drop a like in the stream if you're a fan of the OnlyFans page, and be sure to subscribe if you want to see more. Atlas 747 has just left Irish airspace, so that is on its way. If I recall correctly, both the 747 and the Orange Pride were expected to arrive around 2:15. Here we have an Embraer 190 from BA arriving from London City. BA City Flyer, flight 8489. 36 minutes underway, all par for the course. 35 to 40 minutes. That's both for City, Heathrow, Gatwick, Luton. The GLC8H Le Car. Ne? G Le Car. G Le Car. Almost sounds like a name. G Le Car. 11 years old, this airplane. First flight July 2012. Guard Dash 8 flying to the east north of us. That Might land on runway 22 then. Firefighter van. It says brandweer, which is fire department in Dutch. And also a massive big thank you to Andy Q, just now gifting 5 memberships. Thank you so much, that is very kind of you, Andy. Thank you so much for that. Warm welcome to the new members. If you are one of the 5 recipients of the memberships gifted by Andy just now, don't forget to say thank you. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge new members. You can now use the custom emojis whenever you see fit. Make sure you do. Once again, thank you so much, Andy, for gifting us 5 new Aurora Sky Lounge members. Welcome, guys. E2 Embraer 195 up next. KLM flight 936 arriving from Glasgow. 1 hour and 4 minutes underway. Now runway 27 is also open for arrivals. Which means that our glide slope is a little bit more empty than it was earlier. We should see an EasyJet A320neo turning in, arriving from Palma de Mallorca. Should enter the field of view from the left any moment now, at least based on what I see on flight radar. You know what it's like whenever you say we should see it just now. Turns out it is still a bit further away. The doors stay shut, a no reverser landing here. E2 Embraer. Quiet as a mouse, really quiet. Also a big thank you to Anja, dankjewel. Bad boy, but damn funny. Yeah, bad boys, what you gonna do? Tune in for more. That's what you do. Dankjewel Anja, thank you so much. At least I like that the AMS Live audience has a sense of humor. Right, milkiness is increasing. Southeast, a few friendly clouds. Meanwhile, looking directly west of me, absolutely more cloudiness moving in. Hopefully it's not going to get more humid. It's actually quite doable standing here with the wind constantly blowing. Nice suggestion there, Peter. Is that our Dutch word of the day? Brandweer is fire department. If we had a word of the day, we'd all be speaking the language in no time. Well, that might get a recurring theme then. The Dutch word of the day. Well, to make it a bit more complex, you also have Brandweer Kazerne, which is the actual firefighter station. Kazerne, also a word that you can use for a military base. Anyway, I'm not going to give you Dutch lessons. I know a lot, but I don't think I qualify to be a Dutch teacher. I know a lot, but I also know a lot that I also know that I don't know a lot. Known knowns and known unknowns. EasyJet A330neo. Oh, hey. Here's the Dash 8 returning, and might it land? Nah, it's not going to land on Polderbaan. I've never seen that happen before. It's not going to happen today. That would be a first. I do see a little contrail in the sky. Hope I can, yeah, there it is. Show you guys. Flying north of me, well, still east of me, but flying from east to west. And about to pass north of me. That looks like... yeah, it's a twin jet, but whether or not it is a 767 or a 737, hard to see. You can see it has winglets, but that still doesn't give me enough clues to properly identify it. Let's see, there's the next airplane. Hey, and in German also Kaserne. Ja, hier sagt Feuerwehr und wir sagen Brandwehr. Exactly the same. Brand, Feuer, das ist das Gleiche. Now, also a massive big thank you to Arjan, who also gifted 5 memberships just now. Thank you so much, Arjan. Dankjewel, kerel. Very generous of you. And don't forget to say thank you if you're one of the 5 recipients of the gifted memberships. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, new members. Marissa says, Coast Guard not appearing on bus. Okay, well, it does look, it does look like it is coming this way. What altitude is it flying on? 37-year-old de Havilland, Dash 8 100, 2,150 feet, and I'm going to call it. It looks like the Dash 8 is landing on the Polderbaan. Wouldn't that be something? We've seen it pass by in the air so many times before already, but it's always at a relative big distance, and now if it is going to land, wow, nice little bonus. We saw a Beluga before passing overhead without a contrail, and the Dash 8 might be coming. Holy cow, bonus queen. The Dash 8 and the Beluga, wouldn't that be something? There it is. It is going to land over here. The Dash 8 100 of the Coast Guard. Now this mofo is already 37 years old. First flight September 1986. What were you there? Were you already born? Let's begin with that. And if so, what were you doing back then? 1987. And we got a turboprop landing here. Now, ever since Flybe went bankrupt, I don't think I've seen that happen again. Or was no, there was one military turboprop, I think, last year sometime. Right, Petrikov was born, Marissa wasn't born, Jeffrey was born, Michael was on active duty with the Air Force, Steinfluencer was in high school, Petrikov about 1 year pooping my pants probably. Yeah, well, I was 4 I think, so I think I was out of diapers, but only barely. Yeah, Wolfgang, indeed, we differ only a couple of months. Dave was a fireguard terrorist, aged 3. Maria was married for 7 years already. Wow. Roadhog bought his first car in 87. Andy Q was 20 years old in 87. Yes, yet to take his first flight 2 years later. Well, ladies and gentlemen, strap in. We've got a Dash 8-100 of the Coast Guard coming in. 37 years old. Having done some patrolling over the North Sea. Returning to base. Crystal was in primary school back then. The Stefan was -5. Now, is that camera gear mounted on the bottom of the fuselage? I think so. I think it might be so. Come on, give us some reversers, damn it. Nice. All sorts of cameras and equipment. Come on, spool up those engines a little bit. Butt shot to boot. That's what's so nice about Innsbruck. They still have jets with turboprops coming in. You still hear that noise regularly. What a nice bonus. Yo, Jörg also back. Outside, happy lunchtime from Düsseldorf. Hope you were in time to see the landing, the Dash 8 of the Coast Guard. It landed just now, as you guys can see. And what is even better is that you could also hear it quite nicely. Also hearing some fireworks further up ahead, and is that an inspection in progress? It looks like it. Andy Q says, though I love your Schiphol streams, do you think you will ever stream from other airports? That is definitely something I intend to do, but the channel is still very small, and the growth has been really slow lately. With this size, I don't think it is worth the trouble, so I'm not going to do that just yet. Maybe if the channel is a bit bigger and attracts a wider audience, maybe. But for now, I'm not very enthusiastic about doing it in the short term already. Well, in the meantime, as the runway inspection is in progress, which I don't think is going to last very long because there is already traffic underway, as you can see on flight radar. There's another 777-300 by the looks of it, that just took off from runway 24. Yeah, that's going to Sao Paulo. Where is that? Flight arriving from Manchester. What altitude is it flying on? 3,700 feet. I think that is going to come this way, which means that the bird control have to do their inspection within a couple of minutes. So I'm not expecting this is going to take a very long time. You can see the windsock on the right, indicative of the wind picking up a little bit. I'm happy that it is blowing though, otherwise it would have been a real scorcher here today. K1, I think that's the only VW. I think there are 4 vehicles. K2, 3 and 4 are all Ford Ranger Raptors. This is the only VW. There's also a van, H1 I think it was. Also bird control. Not sure if that is a later addition. Don't recall having seen the van very frequently, or even... No, I don't remember even having seen it in the first months of streaming. I think it started appearing a bit later in the last year or so. Now in the meantime, Russell has also found his throne again. Well, throne, I say throne, but I mean bathroom. We saw that, mate. That was very out in the open there for us to see. In the meantime, an Embraer 190 is coming. But where is it? Little bit of glistening. Vaguely visible. Now let's see, it is 1:30. Was having a look on Flight Radar in the immediate vicinity to see what was coming. But let's focus on the bigger issues at hand. We have the 747 now flying a little bit southeast of Sheffield, expected around 209. The Orange Pride is flying a little bit west of Paris and is expected around 211. Both airplanes expected to land on this runway. Jesus is flying back to Belfast from Jersey. We won't be seeing Jesus here today. Sorry if you guys were looking forward to that. Now let's see, Embraer 190 arriving from Manchester, coming closer and closer by the minute. KLM flight 1032, 46 minutes underway. PHEZS, 13 years old, first flight August 2010. Another Embraer 190 flying base, and another Embraer 190 behind it. Toulouse and Aberdeen are where they are coming from. So we had a bonus queen here today. We saw the Dash 8 100 from the Coast Guard land on the Polderbaan here. That was a first, I think, for me. Plus we got to see a Beluga overhead up in the sky without it producing a contrail. I think that was also a channel first, seeing the Beluga. Although the Beluga doesn't visit Amsterdam, sadly. At least to my knowledge it hasn't yet. Or at least not in recent times. Michael has to go. Start giving his pilot the check ride. Enjoy the rest of your day, mate. Mercer grabbing lunch. Jackie back. These are the infamous fat bikes that are causing a stir in the Netherlands. As you can see, young people are driving those, and they are driving those predominantly. E-bikes that can go really quick, often also made, adjusted, tweaked to go faster than their allowed speed, causing a lot of accidents and a lot of trauma and work for trauma surgeons and ER departments. So there are now voices in politics that say ban them all or make them only available for 16-year-olds or higher, older I should say. Yes, so the milkiness is increasing here. It's moving in from the west, making it a bit nebulous, but not so nebulous that we cannot see a contrail just south of me. Where was it? Now, is that another Air Canada? I think it might be. The yellow orb, I understand, is called the sun, providing warmth and light. Andy says, how deep is the water there? I recall that I saw people after it was dredged a couple of months ago that they were walking in it and it got until belly height or something. I think they deepened it. It was more shallow before, but I think it's maybe a meter, 150 tops deep. Mind you, they did dredge it several months ago. I think, in theory, if you don't get stuck, if you try to walk through it, you could walk to the other side. Now this is KLM flight 1450, arriving from Toulouse. They have nothing to lose and are landing after 1 hour and 24 minutes of flight. Easy come, easy go. The PHEZE. The airplane is 15 years old, had its first flight in June 2009. It is swimmable if it gets too hot, although I'm not sure that you would like to do that, Andy. We do have AMS Live crocodile living here somewhere, and there are also piranhas in the water. So unless you don't attach a lot of value to your flesh, probably best to stay on the grass. Dirk says Qatar over Almelo going to Polderbaan, so that is indicative of the closure, the impending closure of runway 27. Good news. Runway 27 expected to stay open as secondary runway for arrivals between 1 and 2 o'clock local time. So it being now 1:40, and when an airplane is in Almelo, that is probably going to land around 2 o'clock then. Means that everything coming in from the east from now on is probably also going to land on this runway again. And things are going to pick up again in 20 or so minutes. And he says, I suspect the crocodile is similar to Percy the pike who used to live in our local pond. Ah, imaginary or what? Are you accusing me of saying imaginary stuff? Of saying false truths. I would never do that. I would never pull pranks on my audience, my valued audience. Far too serious for that. Also, this whole spotting thing is far too serious to be doing that. Puh, the thought. Now, if you want to see the truth, have a look on the link in my community section, AMS Live OnlyFans. If you haven't seen it already, check it out. Have a look at the comments below it. They're all enthusiastic. All people that have used the 10% discount to subscribe. There's a sneak preview if you follow the link. So feel free to check it out first and then decide whether or not you want to use the discount to subscribe. Hey there Norbert, good afternoon, good to see you again. And all others who've joined in the meantime, we're sticking around for another half hour or so until the Atlas Air 747-8 and the KLM Orange Pride have landed. They're both expected around 10 to 20 past 2 and expected both to land on this very runway. Runway 27 is now still open for arrivals, but that is going to close pretty soon. Traffic flying in Dutch airspace from the east already has been assigned to Polderbaan, this runway, to land, so the closure of runway 27 is upon us. It is impending. It won't be long before this runway will once again become the only runway for arrivals. And if you just joined us, you missed a couple of nice bonuses that weren't foreseeable, or at least that I didn't foresee, I should say, more precisely. Stay factual, stick with the truth, and nothing but the truth. We got to see a Dash 8-100, the Coast Guard, landing on the Polderbaan, which I think was a channel first. Indeed, Maria is confirming it is well worth it, 10% discount, so have a look. Now, apart from the Dash 8-100, we also saw a bonus queen that was arriving from Paris, Cathay Pacific Cargo B748, making the total of queens with the upcoming one 4 for today's stream. The only one that got away today was the A380. It landed on runway 27, sadly. We also got to see the Beluga pass overhead north of us. Also a channel first. I will timestamp these highlights as always once I get home after I'm done streaming. So if you did not see the beginning and did not see the highlights I mentioned, have a look later today. The couple of hours after the stream is done, you'll usually find the list of highlights with the timestamps. Well worth a watch. Discounted butt shots indeed, Dave, absolutely. Now I'm also thinking I'm going to pull the trigger on an S24 Ultra today. Hopefully it will get delivered tomorrow then. On days like today it is really nearly impossible to read the chat due to the reflections and the low luminosity of my current phone screen, so I'm going to see if maybe the S24 Ultra will provide, well, it will be luminous enough, it will be big enough, hopefully it's also heat resistant enough. Our next airplane is arriving from Canada, from Toronto, Air Transat A321neo Flight 376, 7 hours on the way and 10 minutes. 7 hours and 10 minutes in a narrow body. Good God. Kudos to the passengers having survived that ordeal. The airplane is 4 years old, first flight February 2020. And also a massive big thank you to Mark for your super chat. Mark writes, boy, get a cold drink on me after the stream. I will definitely do that, mate. Thank you so much for your super chat. I will definitely get a cold drink. My vodka is running dry, so need more replenishment. Thank you so much, Mark. EasyJet A319 in the foreground, A321neo Top Air Portugal in the background. EasyJet A319 is arriving from Alicante. The A321neo arriving from Lisbon. Thank you for your kind words there, Andy, who says, nice camera work today, boy. Excellent range of shots. I do my best and I hope it shows, and I hope you guys like it. A319, no Wi-Fi hump. At least not a very obvious one. Meanwhile, and it does improve legibility of my phone screen, but it's getting a little bit cloudy over here. First time since we began the stream. Wind isn't slowing down though, as you guys can probably hear on the mic. Double-digit wind speeds. Pep to Game says, hi boy, how are you on this very warm day? Well, I'm doing fine, thank you for asking. I'm happy that the wind is blowing the way it is, because it keeps me cool, even though it is warm out here. Had there been no wind, it would have been a different story altogether. Also started using a different sunscreen, one that you apply with a spray, a bit more lotiony. The one I had before was a bit milky, irritated a little bit around the eyes if you applied it on the face. Also a bit sticky, also a bit of shiny. You also got a shiny skin from it. This is more matte, really nice. Although it is a bit hard to assess whether or not you've applied enough, so I probably overdid it a little bit, but Top Air Portugal, A321neo having arrived from Lisbon, big hump. It's the mothers-in-law department. Now, got more coming in from Portugal. Another one of the special liveries that I mentioned in the beginning. This is the Transavia Sunweb. We not only saw the Peter Pan, we're now also going to see the Transavia Sunweb livery. Sunweb, a tour operator in the Netherlands that often works together with Transavia. For instance, I book my winter skiing trips often via Sunweb and then also fly to Innsbruck via Transavia. So it's not part of Transavia, it is a separate company last time I checked, but it is a partner of Transavia, tour operator in the Netherlands. Also for your summer holidays, returning from Porto in Portugal. Sadly, the wind is also affecting the stability of the footage a bit negatively. Absolutely nice approach, Pep the Games. Both ways, both from the west and from the east, although I do like the approach from the east best because you'll fly over the city on really low altitude, and when you take off to the east you'll already have climbed so much that you don't see as much of the city of Innsbruck than when you fly the approach from the east. See that the ultimate is also back in the chat, albeit briefly, giving a totally unnecessary super chat, but thank you so much, mate. Alvin says, hi from Sydney Airport at the moment. Sorry I can't stay, but I've left a like. Have a great stream. Mate, thank you so much for dropping in. That super like really wasn't necessary, or super chat. Hope all is well, mate. You're on the airport. Are you doing some spotting off your own, or are you going to fly somewhere? Anyway, the ultimate, thank you so much once again for totally unnecessary super chat. KLM flight 1630, 737-700, arriving from Venice, Venezia. No Wi-Fi hump. No, nothing. It is E2 Embraer time, KLM flight 1324, arriving from Krakow in Poland. 1 hour and 30 minutes on the way. The airplane is 2 years old, first flight March 2022. Time to take one of the last swigs of vodka that I still have left. Nearly 1.5 liters. Coursing through my veins. Anya says more clouds coming here in Tilburg. Yeah, we see it as well over here. Milkiness approaching from the west. The east still looks somewhat decent, but you can definitely see the cloudiness is moving in. The wind is still blowing here. Actually quite a lot of horizontality in the chimney smoke, if you look on the scale of chimney smoke. E2 Embraer arriving from Krakow. Alvin is doing a bit of spotting, nice. Well, Alvin, enjoy your spotting there. Have you succeeded with syncing your iPod, by the way? Almost forgot to ask. I think I just tied the knot and am going to purchase the S24 Ultra and just see what it does. Visibility of the chat window, very poor today with the sun being out. Really has to improve. If not, I can always return it. (747) confirmed for Polderbaan. Excellent. Indeed, Elwa, you are getting enough vitamin D. I've stopped taking the vitamin D supplements last week. Should be building enough buffers now for couple of months to go. And once the ARC gets back in the month September, I think it is time to start supplementing again. Partial success, it recognized the iPod, but I have no songs to sync it. yeah, that's the downside of using Spotify all the time. Unless you still have your MP3 somewhere on a hard disk. And also I got a hold. Oh, on your friend's Ultra, yeah. I'm sure the brightness will suffice. I'm pretty sure, and particularly with that Gorilla Glass that is particularly anti-reflective, that really helps a lot to improve legibility. Not so much the brightness, but it is the reflections that is the that's almost worse than just the lack of brightness. The only question is, will it hold up in the heat? But yeah, time will tell. We'll see. You'd think if an Ultra cannot, then what phone can? So I think I'll order it once I get home. Should arrive somewhere tomorrow then. So hopefully Saturday, hopefully this weekend we can first start using it. Now we have a big bird coming in. Qatar actually coming in from Doha. 777-300 no? Yes, 300 not a freighter. Passenger flight, 6 hours and 4 minutes underway. Flight 273. It's the A7B. It's the A-Bay. At Bay. Anyway, this airplane, 11 years old, first flight February 2013. Ella asked, when are you going to buy? Later today. Just order it via web store. Should get delivered somewhere tomorrow then. And I'm thinking using a light color will also help to reflect some sunlight. So don't opt for black or purple, maybe yellow or something. Though the purple does look nice. Optimus Toaster says, in Scotland I have to make sure that my phone is waterproof enough. I think it has an IP68 rating, so that's even better than my OnePlus 6, and my OnePlus 6 never ever got me any issues, at least with rain. Actually, it still does quite well after 6 years. The only thing it is letting me down on now is just that the screen brightness is not nearly sufficient for daylight conditions like today. And since I use my phone for Flight Radar, but particularly for the chat, and Flight Radar is visible relatively well because it is relatively bright, but the small letters in the chat, the reflections are overpowering. Really hard to see. Now, EasyJet A320neo, and after that I think the first A220 of the show, Bombardier C series. And that was the boom. The boom we saw earlier, Marissa says. Nice. Why am I not thinking of Bussy and Adriaan? A big boom. Anyway. EasyJet A320neo, arriving from Malaga. 2 hours and 33 minutes in the pocket. The OE LSO 1 year old. First flight December 2022. Next up, first A220 of the show. Unbelievable. Only now are we going to see the first one. Bombardier C Series 100, A220 100. Swiss, arriving from Zurich, flight 728. 1 hour and 11 minutes underway. Right, you have a lovely day too, Alvin, or lovely evening I should say. Eden Real asks, how many millimeters is your lens? I don't know, because it is a camcorder. It's just what comes equipped. I think the equivalent of zoom in 35 millimeter equivalent is between 29 and 600 something, 620 or so millimeters. That's the optical zoom, and I can go with, I can include an additional 800 times digital zoom, which I never do. 400 times is more than enough already. I think it is, the optical zoom is around 600 millimeters in 35 in full frame equivalent. Next up, Vueling A320, flight 8365, arriving from Malaga. Malaga ice cream. Which reminds me, I still have a batch of freshly made pistachio ice cream in my freezer. Definitely will go nice with that cool drink that I also am going to take afterwards. Marissa says, looks like the Queen will be third for arrival. Nice. Queen 4, third for arrival. Now if the Queen is third for arrival, then the Orange Pride cannot be far away. No, not for long, Jackie, not for long. Hey, where is Orange Pride? Where is Orange Pride? Orange Pridey. Also flying in the vicinity. Now, I'm looking because the 747, it should be somewhere over there. But you can see the milkiness in the background. Really hard to see the 747. I'm trying my best. I'm also looking behind me. Orange Pride should also be flying over here somewhere. Let me see on flight radar. Orange Pride is still in the vicinity of Leiden, so that is still... I'm still not seeing anything. I'm just zooming in the general direction I think the airplane should now be in. Even though we should be able to see it from the side and see it quite well. I'm not... Oh wait, yeah, I got it. There we go. Oh, gear is already extended. Queen numero 4 of today's show. A show with pleasant surprises in the form of the Dash 8-100 landing on the Polderbaan. The Coast Guard airplane that we see so regularly. Plus, we got to see the Beluga flying overhead. Also quite clearly discernible. We saw a bonus Queen. This one was already one of the triplet that was expected. Was airborne before the show went live. We got to see a fourth that landed not too long ago, arriving from Paris. The fourth and final queen of the show. Now on the glide slope. We have a little airplane landing here. Little KLM B748. The next airplane is going to be Her Majesty the Queen. And she's crabbing. Now I'm looking to the southwest and to the west. See if I can maybe spot the orange pride already. No dice. Should really be close by though. Still a bit high. Let's keep it zoomed in a little bit then. Let me check again. Yes. The Orange Pride also flying in the vicinity of buildings, so I have a frame of reference. Makes it easy to show you guys. The last airplane of the day, the PHBVA, flying on the downwind leg. Lucky that I was able to see it. Here we go. This is Atlas Air, Boeing 7478, arriving from Miami. And the flight time, look on flight radar folks, I kid you not, 7 hours and 48 minutes. Here we go. Boeing 748, 7 hours 48 minutes of flight time. Look on flight radar right now folks, really coincidence, nice coincidence. The stars are lining up. Guess God is not so mad at me after all, huh? Is he? 2 years old, now landing. Let's look and listen. Fudge, yeah. Well worth the wait, well worth the wait. The big fat quadruple. So good. Throwing out all anchors, absolutely. Fucking A. Now, A350-1000. Taking off from the other 18 runway, really far away, off to Hong Kong, Cathay Pacific. Right, last airplane of the show is turning in. Number 175 arriving from Linköping. Yeah. It's now landing. Windsock in the foreground. Bit of Viagra in the air. That's also why the sky is blue. That's the Viagra. Getting a stable close-up of the cockpit, really difficult with the windiness. Tried, but doesn't look that good. Last airplane of the show, ladies and gentlemen, the KLM Orange Pride, the PHBVA. It is returning from Sao Paulo today, flying as KLM Flight 792. It's a 777-300, but we all know that. The PHBVI, we all know that. It is 16 years old, first flight January 2008. We all know that. We know that it is just as old as Choc-y, the Lycifer Chocolate Embraer 190 that we saw on the outbound to Aalborg. And Bookie Meow just in time, back in time for the Orange Pride, last airplane of the day. 10 hours and 57 minutes underway from Sao Paulo to the Netherlands. National Park, the Hoge Veluwe. The Hoge Veluwe National Park is also a name you might know it under, although I think most people will just know it as Orange Pride. It's just this one. Sometimes people are wondering, how many are there? There's just one. Now we saw its sibling, its younger sibling, the PHBVD, earlier in the stream arrive. That is the SkyTeam livery 777-300. If you join us later, be sure to come back in a few hours and I will timestamp the many highlights of today's show. It was another wonderful one. Let's take a listen. Last landing of the show. Right, that was the last landing for today's show. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me here today. I had a wonderful time and I hope you guys did too. If you like what you saw, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe if you want more. We'll see you again on the next one, hopefully tomorrow. Weather, I don't know yet. It is going to get a bit more cool. There was some rain expected here and there, but I'm not sure how it's all going to transpire tomorrow in Schiphol area. I'll have a look tonight. Hope to see you in the next one. A big thank you for all the support, the super chats, the super stickers, the super likes, whatnot, the merch store purchases, the PayPal donations. Thank you all so much. You guys are what makes this channel great. And also a big thank you to the moderators for keeping the chat friendly and accessible. Also, have a look at the community section. There's a link, if you haven't seen it already, the OnlyFans website of AMS Live, now live. Check it out. You'll see raving reviews in the comments below it. Check it out if you haven't already. There's a 10% discount. Have a look and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye for now.